Hi folks, Jeff Szymaniak, Superintendent of Schools. I just wanted to send a real thank you to Whitman and Hanson Cable Access for doing this tour of the district as we open up and prepare for our students next Wednesday. I want to thank Ernie Sandland, the Director of Facilities, who's prepared the buildings, all the building principals who walked us around and gave you that tour, and the school committee members that showed or were able to see the schools and their readiness for opening. The highlights I think that you can see were at the high school, the new gym floor. Thanks to the towns for providing that. It looks like a professional gymnasium. The air conditioning units at Hanson Middle School, at Duval Elementary, at Conley Elementary. I think the school is ready for opening. We still have some finishing touches and some makeup spots, floors and some classrooms need to be a little bit dusted off and ready for next Wednesday, but on the whole, the facilities department has done a wonderful job, and as you saw, teachers are coming in slowly and preparing for the school year, which we look forward to. Next Wednesday looks like an 80-degree day. We're looking forward to good weather on our opening day. Thank you very much.
So it starts out in June. We have a work order request that goes out, and some teachers put in a request to have walls painted or something fixed, a sink fixed, and then what we do is we put that into a work order. Contractor or personnel that's here will either take care of it or fix it. In this case, as you can see, the lights have been changed out. We have new LEDs going in. They'll be connected, and then these will be removed. So these are all wired and jack chained in. The next procedure we'll do, which will be go to the switch, connect everything to the switch, and then that will be done on off hours, and then the lights come down.
So one of the challenges for the high school in particular is to get this ready. Now this is ready to go at this point, but this building was used until last week. So we did the third floor the best we could, keeping kids off. So we run summer programs for summer school, and all our extended school year programs run through here. So to have Ernie and the guys try to put this together the week before school is a challenge. So you might see some things that are not fully ready to go, but it's today Tuesday, we still have 4 more days.
Yeah.
Drag down the wire.
Just to make use of the ends, these used to extend all the way out. And what Ernie and his crew has been doing is been putting up walls. This one happens to be a storage area for central office, but to make use of all the space we have, we've also capped the third floor ones. One is for special ed. They can do testing and things like that in those rooms, so they're not interrupting other classes or trying to coordinate or schedule it that way. So it makes it more efficient. And on the other end, we've added department offices for departments that didn't have offices.
Happen to be here. And we knew you were here. I heard you down the hall. So getting things together. So something that you might notice, and this is part of how things have changed. Talk about social emotional learning. You just see that. And when I was in high school, it didn't say it's good to have a good day. You know, my math teacher was like, you know, stupid is as stupid does. That was my math teacher. You know, flunk with a smile on your face, Jeff. So, but I think it's a whole mindset change of how you can be successful in the classroom. Bree's got that, you know, choose happy, do different things. You're going to have a lot of learning in here, but you're also going to have a lot of positivity. And sometimes, you know, it is okay to fail because you learn from failure. And that's part of what we're doing in here. So instead of row and go, you have your stations set up. So 4 students at a stations, learning centers almost, little elementary. In a high school where you're going to have group discussions or discussions at your table. No more, and you're going to find some classrooms that are in rows and teachers are comfortable like that. We're not going to say that's not a good thing, but it's a different way to teach. And I think this involves, you know, it's a good learning experience for kids when they can collaborate together. So it's something you're going to see more and more of in our district.
Bleachers out that used to be where your court starts. So you couldn't get the full 4 courts on the sides. Okay. So they backed up all the baselines. It's baseline. The baseline's all the way around the edge now. It's just really a quality job that we can show off. We've definitely got the best floor in the league and the best looking gym in the league as a result. You'll notice in the middle there, they have the white volleyball court outline.
Yep.
where before it was yellow, you couldn't really see it. And so
It
now
did, it
stands out.
blended with the wood.
Yeah, so it's really, I mean, they did a quality job on this. Yeah, this was a long time coming, I think 2.5 years to get this done. When we get a chance to do it, or we have the time to do it this year, this setup's gonna go away, and we're gonna be installing countertops instead. So there'll be counters that run along the back, and then you're gonna have like counter peninsulas that come out that will be manned with computers, so that this is more of a flexible learning space, so that students have more of a flow, they can move around, you can do more things in here, because if you look behind you, that's where we put our TV news out every day, and things like that. So we were looking at a studio that didn't work right now, and wasn't something that we could move forward with. So we're going to have the countertop spaces in here. If you were to look next door, you'll see one with just the outside counters done. But to fit all the students, we'll put some, like I said, peninsulas in here that'll come out.
For group learning.
Yeah, so they can work together, so they can do all the different things that they need to do. And they'll have a space up here that they can do so they can present work and stuff like that. So. It's funny to come down through here and watch the students playing around it. And pulling up the different videos, pulling up news, pulling up my newsletter, pulling up Twitter, looking at all the different athletic announcements and stuff like that. The kids really do. And then it's funny because you walk down and the kids see that you notice them, and then it's kind of like, they look around a little bit, but it's when you catch them, they're sitting there playing. And right here, still under construction, it'll be done fairly soon. As you can see, this space here, which is a conference room inside of the library, and it's next to the librarian's office. We found that we didn't really need like the kitchenette and things like that in here, and bringing people in to work with our staff, interns, things like that, we found that we were taking up other conference space to give them like half offices if they're here part-time and so forth. So we've turned this into our special education meeting room, our conference room, and so people didn't have to walk through the library during the day. Ernie was good and got us a door through here so that it'll match the rest of the hallway. But now with a sign, people will be able to come down here for special education meetings, other meetings obviously that get scheduled, but that lends some type of privacy and it doesn't disturb library, things like that.
We have a lot of MCAS exams or makeup exams that go on in the library, and there'll be signs on the door. You really can't go in. The kids are in there, and then this room is not used, so this gives us an opportunity to use it off the curb. The best value. It might end up going into a capital budget. The simplest thing for us is to put some trees over here. But again, we want to get some shade built. We are looking at putting some, Ocean State Job Lot has them. There are 12 by 12 canopies. But the problem that we have with that is the windstorms that come through.
Yeah.
What happens with those? The more expensive ones have the wind sensors. So if you have the awning that comes out, and if there's a 5-mile-per-hour wind, the awning will go back in. So that's kind of what we're looking at. So before these were put on, there was a key lock on the inside and on the outside. So for you to lock your door, you would have to take the key to lock it. And it's a deadbolt action. And this was part of what the town gave us for money to put these thumb pieces on. This will be district-wide, so when a student comes back into the classroom, they'll lock the door with a thumb latch. If something happens, they're able to lock the door real quick. Before, the teacher would have to pull the key out and lock the door. Now, anybody can lock the door from inside. And it meets the building code, but this is a standard that we have throughout the district, other than Whitman Middle. Whitman Middle, because it's a cylindrical lock, the thumb latch will be on the lock itself.
So it's safer district-wide. I mean, you don't have to worry about locking from the outside, locking from the inside. It's a more manageable approach to schools.
Just wanted to give you a demonstration. This is our old locking system. So if something happened in the building, this would be slid on. This would be slid on this lock, and it'd be jammed in there, and that would hold the door shut. So we went from, which is a great idea. I think the science department put these together for us, but we don't need these anymore because we're able to do something a lot easier, and everybody.
Gary Pelletier is the interim Indian Head Assistant Principal, I should say. Assistant. Mike Jones, School Committee Member, Fred, Mike Jones, Fred Small,
Fred Small, nice to meet you.
We met right up at.
Yeah, we did. How are you doing?
So we're,
Welcome to India.
Thank you, and welcome to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
now you got, we did this last year, this was already done when we did the facilities right here. I'm sure
it was
we were-
close,
It was
yeah.
pretty close, right? So this is the new office area,
Yeah.
secure entrance, so everything from the school is locked and tight. Get to see Miss Andrews right up front, and this is a nicer area. We didn't have this before.
We have town basketball, you know, anybody that needs to use this, they're, we've got the band, it's not on. But they installed that last year to keep the place cool, really, really cool during the day. I don't know if you were on here, but this was down to the bare bones.
Yeah.
And then, not only were they doing the ceiling tile, we also had a pipe burst. So this was completely flooded.
The sprinkler was just hanging below the ceiling. There was really no support of it. So when they were removing the old ceiling in 2017, the mesh came down and broke one of the sprinkler pipes, which flooded that whole section over there. The good news is we had a company here that was able to clean it up, lickety-split, and we've had all the testing done. The air quality came back perfect.
So this room was completely gutted. There are all new lights, ceiling, and the floor. I mean, they replaced the tiles and you've got room darkening shades in this room. So,
Right, I think that's all this is.
you know, if you could only have seen the amount of water in this room. And this room went down, went over. It's great, except for kindergarten, we have 3 full day, and we have 1 half day, and grade 4 has 4 classrooms, starting after 5. So we've got, this is a 3rd grade wing, upstairs is grade 4.
Okay, so these are Mitsubishi, and the job was a fantastic install, fantastic. That goes back to bidding projects in the wintertime for a summer project. You get a qualified guy, they bid the right price, and we got a pretty good price on the installation. So these are split systems. Now what happens is there's multiple units like this, splits on one master that's up on the roof, that's up on the main roof. So what this is what we used to do. So if a student or a teacher had a doctor's note or an IEP, we have to put air conditioning in the room. That's what we have to do. We have to put an air conditioner through a window. So now what we've got is each classroom covered. And we've established today, we met with Bill, myself, and the contractor met, and we've established the temperatures that these rooms are at, which is, what did you?
72.
72. So, and I think what we've done is you tour the other schools, you'll see the same reaction. We put window units in the other schools. So what we're working on, and I think this is really important, it came out today. We have a heat plant, which is a ventilation. Above your head, Dawn, is exhaust. So that's hooked to a main exhaust. In the spec, when we put the spec together, we met collectively and we came up with a spec. Engineer came up with the design, and what we're working on now is coordinating the outside air, throttled back to 20%, these things running, and then exhaust air, we're looking at putting drives on those exhaust airs, because what happens with that exhaust fan, it comes on, it goes to high speed. So it sounds like a wind tunnel. So if we can have a variable speed drive on that, we'll bring it up slowly and not a lot of air is coming out, and you get to save the air in the classroom. But that's part of our design. We want the contractor and the engineer to own it. So we ask them to commission this building, commission this after they've done it. So now the person that came up with the original design, the contractor's installed it, Now, they're gonna measure it by saying, yes, it works, and they're gonna have to prove it to us. So that's why we had a meeting today, to talk about some of the issues that we wanna make sure get resolved.
It makes sense if you're cooling the room. You don't want to then
Exhausted,
pull it
yeah.
out.
It's a waste of money, number one. By law, by code, we have to turn over so much air when these classrooms are occupied. Unlike a window unit, these do not bring in fresh air. A window unit brings in fresh air. So now we have the univent, which will bring fresh air in, and that exhaust fan, the reason it's over there is to bring that air across the room and bring it up. So, but we want to control that so it's not bringing in a whole bunch of outside air, but just enough to take care of the kids. The CO2 level is really important to us. So, to put a ramp in, we would have to go back to those sets of doors back there, and we're talking over $100,000. So this would all have to be cut up, and it just wasn't going to work. And I think the scariest part was if we took this ramp out, those walls would now have to be restructured. So we had to go through that because the state said we're not letting you do this until you go through that exercise, which we
Have to
did.
prove it.
And
Yeah, great.
All of our no atom science materials. I know it doesn't really look like a learning space right now, but it will be. All this stuff plus a lot more like older science curriculum used to be in room 203. We'll show you that room, and that's where the sub-separate room moved to. Once our computer lab, right now the computer lab has very long fixed tables, the wiring, the electrical work goes right into the floor, so it's a very fixed environment, learning environment. The electrician, I think, was supposed to come today or
He
this
did.
week. He did. So all those tables are going to come out. These tables are going to go down there, so it's going to be another flexible learning space that we can use for small groups. And then that will then be able to organize this room so that teachers can use this room too. So you can feel the temperature change. No AC in this room. Makes a big difference. Like eye wash area. It was really a dumping ground. A lot of old curriculum was in this room, old science materials. We donated some stuff. We threw out a lot of stuff, boxed things up and put them into that room that you just saw. We felt like this room, it's a nice space. It has a lot of storage, but it also has this back room here that will be used as a quiet room, a calming room, or a quiet workspace for the sub-separate program. So that space was really what kind of created that ripple effect of changes. But Ernie and
Alright, you ready?
Oh, there's Ernie.
Alright, so this stuff is all going away.
No, it's-
Yeah, this is our new for the literacy program, so all of these books have libraries for the teachers. They are so excited, so level readers for the kids. And we purchased, PAC purchased these charging stations last year. We purchased 6 each. PAC is going to fill the rest of them for me. So that's what we used our basket auction money for and some of our fun run. So these will all be filled.
So it charges while it stores in that
Yep. So it
charging
Yep.
storage station.
So every classroom has at least 10 Chromebooks now, which will be great for our math program because there's an online component to that. And then we'll work on getting some more, but we're super excited about that. So each of these cards, most of them have 25, a couple of them have 30. So when we started out, we've got 30 in those.
So you're gonna see those at the high school a lot, those just travel up and down the
Yep.
hallways. And
Yeah.
a teacher will plug them in and pull them
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, the great thing about them is you can move them anywhere. And they charge, you just plug this in,
Oh.
they charge just like before. Drafting kind of tables in there, but Ernie actually talked me out of it because we talked about the ease of getting in and out of the space. And it would probably be better to just leave that, so kids can come up with clipboards, and that just gives you a lot more flexibility in the space too. So, one of my favorite things. It took us a long time. Yeah, we've done art night in here, we did art
Budget
last
meeting?
year. We did a budget meeting. We do a third grade community in action panel that we invite people to come to and talk to the third graders about like what they do in the community. That's been fun. So I would love to see some fans in here just to keep the air moving. It gets really, really warm in here, especially at the beginning of the year and the end of the year. But like I said, we make them use every inch of space here. One of our teachers in the Therapeutic Learning Center, along with the occupational therapist, have been researching, and they're going to make a motor hallway in almost every hallway. So we're going to have 4 of them in different areas. So this hallway will be the alphabet. So we're going to put the alphabet on the floor, and then they will jump. So kids will have the opportunity to jump from every letter. Another one will have feet prints and little pathways, and then they'll stop and they'll do like wall push-ups, they'll do little squats, just to get them up and moving so that they're ready to learn again. So we're excited about that. That's
And
something
it's
new
a
for us this
visual
year.
for them to follow.
Visual, bright colors, but we also, I invited the OT to come to our opening meeting so that she could explain to the teachers how we're going to use this. So how do you introduce the kids to it? How do you make sure that they know what to do? So we're excited. That's new for us.
As you say, Mrs. Small, you never know when you're going to walk in. Everywhere, it's a Tuesday afternoon in August.
Could be at the beach.
A week early.
Yep,
That's
it's a week
true.
early and people are in.
Yeah.
Everything's ready.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
What grade do you teach?
Second.
Nice.
We love it.
We're really lucky she picked us. Yeah, come back anytime. I love to talk about the building.
You know I
love
do.
to talk about what we're doing.
They did a renovation and they put an addition on. They tried to copy the terrazzo floor with their own version of the terrazzo, which is over there. It's kind of where you see it. The main office, from what I'm hearing, used to be over in this
It was,
direction.
because there's a window
Correct, right there, you're right.
here, right here. It's-
So this is the library. It's a pretty cavernous library. Mike's got something set up for Thursday.
Thursday's 6th grade orientation, so.
Nice and cool in here.
Yeah.
It is.
Grades here are.
6, 7, 8. So 6th grade orientation, the kids will be coming up, so it's for kids and parents, and we bring the parents in there.
What do you do with the kids?
The kids have like a scavenger hunt, and they meet the teachers and.
That's
and
cool.
Yeah, so they have some fun, and we have a little snack for them at the end, and then we talk to the parents who are absolutely scared out of their wits about their kids coming to the middle schools.
I say baby steps, we're taking baby steps. We used to have electrical steamers here. Everything was electrical in this building, including the heat when this place was built. So this came last year, we got this through a Green Communities grant, steamer and then 2 convection ovens. And then what we do is, they were electric, so what we do is we run the gas over here, we get up the gas instead of electric. Because you can't get an Energy Star electric steamer or oven. So that's the part that we go through. This one was left over from the old system. The cook still wanted to keep it here. So that's kind of what it looked like before. So we're hoping, as we go through this, that more of this stuff comes. We do have a SOI into the state, Statement of Interest, and we're expecting to sit down with them in October, mid-October. So these are some of the things that they'll look at. Are we consciously spending money, the upkeep of the building? What are we doing? Are we good stewards? We are. We're excellent stewards. We actually put in money, and the town gives us the money. We spend it on what we need to spend it on. So this came from the green community. But this is, as you look at it, this is an old floor, pre-72 type. We put that freezer in. It's a refrigerator freezer. Internally, my guys did it. I think it was 4 years ago. So we bought all the pots, and we took the old one out and we put a new one in. So when I walk through with the state, my point is, when I walk through the state, I'm going to show them that we've been doing upgrades and our things that we're improving and building on. But it's like putting new tires on an old car that's ready to conk out. So what we're trying to do is explain to the state where the deficiencies are, and then look at it and make a decision. So this gymnasium, what we've done, this gym, there was some bad spots in the gym, but there's a lot of dead spots on this gym floor. We had it resurfaced 2 years ago, actually improved the look, but it's still the old gym floor that they used to have donkey races on?
Yep, they play donkey basketball.
Donkey basketball.
Yep.
So when you look at it inside here, it looks pretty good, but there's a lot of dated stuff. 1972 rooftop. There's not a lot of things that have changed. So I mentioned to you earlier that we're putting safety locks on these doors.
Yep.
This is a good example. This is a cylindrical lock versus the mortise lock. They stick this piece of wood behind this lock to stop somebody from getting in. But in the future, what we're going to have is a turnstile here. Again, this is a typical classroom. We did get money from National Grid to replace these lights. They're all LED. The payback on those fixtures is less than 2 years. So when you look at it, if say we get a grant to build a new school and it's 3-4 years out, we've already made our money back by the time 4 years come around. So it won't be, and I see shadows. I don't know about you guys, but I see shadows when I'm in this. When we put the new LED lights in, it'll be a lot clearer for students writing. And that's the good news about when we do stuff like that, when we upgrade. Not only are we saving energy, but we're also getting a better, clear area to write with, and they can see much better.
Hi, Fred Small, School Committee. We took a tour of pretty much all the schools today, seeing how hard the Facilities Department has been working in getting the schools prepared. The challenging part is our schools are in use every single day throughout the year. The shortest time span is the high school this year. They actually have about a week to turn the building around, as it's been that heavily used all year long. But the schools look great. They do what they can with the funds that they have. Everything's clean, or is in the process of being cleaned, waxed, and ready for the kids to come in. We have wonderful teachers, as we found. Can't believe it's a week early before school is starting and before they need to be reporting, and they're in their classrooms setting up their classrooms. From the bottom of my heart, I do want to thank all the dedicated people that we have that are here, that don't have to be here, that are doing above and beyond as they always do. That's what makes Whitman-Hanson great. Just looking forward to a great school year.
Hello, my name's Ernie Sandland, Facility Manager for Whitman-Hanson. This summer's been a very busy summer for us. Some of the projects that both towns have given us money for, including the air conditioning at Hanson Middle, some upgrades in the roof units at Whitman Middle, and so also some interior work at both elementary schools in Whitman. We've also done some extensive repairs at Indian Head. If you notice, if you go by the Indian Head School, the Memorial Hall, the work we did on the exterior facade out there, that looks super. And some of the other projects that we're working on for future of roof repair, replacement at Indian Head and Hanson Middle, as well as some of the projects that the PACs, both PACs have contributed to. We put portable air conditioners in Conley and Duval Elementary School. We took a space that during the summer months and actually going into September, that some days, if it's 90 degrees out, are unbearable. Right now, we have a pretty good, we're heading in the right direction. So good things to come.